Good morning. Welcome back to another read aloud of, almost said a different name, Hero. Welcome back to Hero. Yes, Hero. You ready? All right. We've got an elephant theme going, a little coffee in our Yellowstone mug. And as always, Otter is dying to know what's going to happen next. All right, Chapter 7. Be strong, Senator Kerrigan had said to Zach. It just made him more determined than ever to find out the truth behind his father's death. He had yet to find anything he could classify as a clue, despite weeks' worth of reading. It was why he wasn't ready to bring Kate in on it yet, even knowing she could probably help. As good as Zach's brain was, hers was usually better. Yet there was another reason he was keeping her in the dark, because he was afraid that when he did tell her, even if he had something, she was going to think this was the total exact opposite of moving on with his life. So for now, he just kept at it on his own. He bookmarked some stuff on the web, printed out some of it, and stuck it in the bottom drawer of his desk with old school papers, and a clutter he figured even one of the house CSI units would have a hard time sorting out. Zach Harriman was staying strong. Zach's mom was out of town on a trip to help Senator Kerrigan. Zach, Kate, and Alba had just finished dinner together. Alba told them both to shoo, despite Zach's offer to help clean the table. I don't need your help in my kitchen, she said. Go. And it was hers. Zach knew. Oh man, they all knew. Even Elizabeth Harriman acted like she had to get permission to go into the kitchen when Alba was cooking. Zach and Kate went to the second floor den and turned on the Knicks game. Kate didn't care about basketball, but she'd started watching the games at night just to keep Zach company, knowing that when his dad was around, when his dad was still alive, watching the Knicks was something Zach and his dad had done together. Tonight, though, he sensed that she wasn't there just to keep him company. She had something else on her mind. She was paying even less attention to the game than usual, which was saying something. Okay, she finally said from her end of the couch. I've got a fun game we can play. How about we each tell each other the secret we've been keeping? That was no good. Zach knew right away this was definitely not good. He could tell by the tone in her voice, the fake excitement in it. Zach's immediate response was to just stare at the Knicks on the foul line as if he were about to take the most important free throw in the history of the NBA. Should I go first, she said, or do you want to? Zach said, why don't we just watch the game instead of playing one? Okay, if that's the way you want it, she said, ignoring him, folding her legs underneath her as she turned to face him. I'll go. The Knicks made the first free throw. Oh, wait, Kate said. I can't go first. Want to know why? Not a clue. Because I haven't been keeping any secrets from you. That's why. He turned his head. She was at least smiling at him. Your turn, Kate said. I haven't been keeping any secrets from you either, Zach said. Liar. I haven't. Yes, you have, she said. All the closed doors at night, you saying you're doing homework when I know better than anybody that you don't have it in you to sit that long for anything having to do with school. Since you know so much, Zach said, why don't you tell me what it is that I'm keeping secret? Then we'll both know. I've got a better idea, she said. Why don't you come clean with me and save us both a lot of time, and you a lot of misery? She was going to wear him down on this, Kate style, the way Spence could wear him down about her. If there was one thing about Kate that came closest to annoying him, it wasn't that she was so smart. It was that she could be so cocky about it. She always thought she was right, and she wouldn't give up until you admitted it. He tried to explain to his dad one time, and his dad laughed and said, she looks like a sweetie pie, but if Kate Paredes goes up for a rebound, she's coming down with the ball. It was like that now. Zach Harriman, knowing he was going to lose the ball sooner or later, lose the battle, deciding it might be, well, better to be sooner. Okay, I give up, he said. A wise decision, Kate said. You're just one eighth grader from Parker School trying to stop my eventual plans for world domination. He muted the TV set. The room was completely quiet now, and there was just the blur of action from the game. I've been reading up on my dad's crash, he said. Kate said, and why? More than a month after it happened, are you doing something like that? Why, he said. Because I want to know what happened. That's why. You do know, she said. Everybody does. The engines failed, and your dad tried to land in the bay. He didn't make it and crashed into that field instead. She held up a hand, letting him know she wasn't quite finished. And I thought the whole goal right now was to push as much distance as possible between you and all that. What did his dad used to say? Another one of his goofy expressions. In for a dime, in for a dollar. If he was going to tell Kate some of it, he might as well tell her all of it. I don't think it was an accident, he said. Wait a second, she said. You're saying that you think somebody sabotaged your dad's airplane? Yes. When it happened, you said no way your dad would let a plane he was flying crash, Kate said. Her eyes were on him hard, like a flashlight being shined on him in the darkened room. Right, Zach said, and we agreed that no one lets an accident happen. It just happens. He put air quotes around happens, shrugged and said, I was lying. To me, she said. Not just to you. I was lying to everybody, he said. I didn't buy that it was an accident when it happened, and I'm not buying it now. He was just too good of a pilot, like he was too good at everything else. Except being around, of course. Except being here. But it wasn't pilot failure. It wasn't pilot failure, Kate said. It was engine failure. That's what the investigation said. I know what they think, but they don't know. Because on top of everything else, they can't find the black box. And there's no record of him making a distress call to the airport in East Hampton, which was the closest one, or anywhere else. Kate said the next part in a soft voice, like she was telling him that she didn't want to argue with him, or have a debate about this, or beat him up on it. Planes crash all the time, she said, all over the world. Sometimes there's an official explanation, and sometimes there isn't. Remember that paper I did on Amelia Earhart? Sometimes the plane just disappears. Zach said, listen, even if something had gone terribly wrong, and he knew that he couldn't pull out of it, he would have used his chute and bailed out, so why didn't he do that? Maybe there wasn't time, she said. Maybe he just never got the chance. But see, that's the thing, he said. My dad was his best under pressure. The worst trouble always brought out the best in him. That's why there has to be a reason he didn't get the chance to save himself, and I'm going to find out why. Neither one of them said anything now. Zach turned his head back toward the television where somebody on Charlotte had just made this amazing dunk, throwing the ball down so hard Zach was surprised he and Kate couldn't hear it over the mute button. Don't do this, Kate said. I have to. You know I've got you no matter what you do, she said. I know, he said. I know. But you've got to let this go, she said. He shook his head slowly side to side. Please listen to me, she said. Listen, because I sometimes feel like I know you better than I know my own self. And I know that if you don't let this go, you're going to get so lost in it that even I won't be able to find you. No. No to which part? No, I'm not letting it go. And no, I could never get that lost. You'd invent a new kind of GPS, and if that's what it took for you to find me. Excuse me. You really and truly believe somebody killed your dad? Yes. Okay, let's say you're right, Kate said. Even though I'm not really saying that. Who would do something like that? You want the short list, just from the last couple of years, he said, or the longer one from his whole career? And you really believe a 14-year-old kid can find something that nobody else has, Kate said. Yeah, he said. Yeah, I do. And that's where it ends. So much more to read. I'm having a hard time reading one chapter a day. But patience is a virtue. We will find out tomorrow what he and Kate can find out together. I'll see you then.